Hey guys, Sarah here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing this monochromatic mauve makeup look. I think this is perfect for Valentine's Day, but I also think it's perfect for any day of the year that you want to wear it. So if you're interested in seeing how I got this, then keep watching. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe before you leave so you don't miss any of my future videos. All right, let's get into it. Like I said, I'm going to show you this makeup look. I use shadows from a few different palettes. You can use any shadows that you have on hand. Do not feel like you have to use the exact palettes that I use because I do kind of jump around a little bit. And I just think that it's important to be able to use the stuff that you have in your collection, even if it's not that exact color or whatever the case may be. I will link everything that I mentioned down below. Everything that's on my face, along with everything that I'm wearing, will be linked in the description box. So let's get into this video. I already moisturized my skin with my Dermalogica Active Moist, so now I'm going to go in with primer, and today I'm going to use two primers because I'm going to be extra. I'm going to use this one from Touch in Sol. It's the No Poreblem primer. I got this in my BoxyCharm this month, and I've been using it quite a bit. I actually really like it. And then I'm just using this on the sides of my nose and kind of on my nose where I have problem areas with my pores. And I'm kind of spreading it, but then also pushing it in, just so that it can really get into my pores and fill them in. And then I'm also going to go in with the Mercier foundation primer in the areas that I'm not putting this one, just because this one is so nice and hydrating, and I feel like my makeup always goes on top of it so nicely. And it's so cold out, so my skin has been super unhappy and dry. For foundation, I'm also going to mix two foundations. I'm going to mix my Mercier Flawless Lumière Radiance-Perfecting foundation. I love this so much. It's a little bit light for me right now though. I'm like at my fairest ever. So I'm just going to use some of the Clinique 2-in-1 Beyond Perfecting foundation and concealer. And this one is in the shade 2 Alabaster. This is their lightest neutral shade. It's number 2, so it's the second lightest shade. So anytime I need to lighten up a foundation, I generally use this. And one thing about mixing with this is that this foundation dries very quickly, so I have to work in sections, even though with the Laura Mercier foundation, I could apply it all over my face and then blend it all in at once. Okay, to set my face, I'm going to use my Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder in the Glow formula. I seriously feel like I get comments every single time I use this to set my entire face that it's not made to set your entire face, and my response is do whatever you want. Makeup is to use however you see fit. So if you don't like the way that it looks, do not set your face with this. It will give you a nice glow if you are really light-handed with it. Like if you saw when I first applied it, I was super light and then I dispersed it here, and then now I'm kind of going in. I haven't picked up any more product just to kind of blend it in. I think it gives your skin a really nice glow sheen, and you just have to tap off a lot of it and just be very light-handed. Otherwise you will end up with more glow probably than you would want. But with everything, when it comes to makeup, do whatever works for you and fits the style that you want. Next, I'm going to go into my Benefit Cheekathon palette only to get the Hoola bronzer. And I'm taking my dual-sided Hourglass brush, and I'm taking the small side just to do a little bit of contouring. I don't know why, I've never used the mirror in this palette before, and I feel like it's farther away than a normal mirror, which is so weird. For bronzer, I'm taking my Sunlit bronzer from Becca in the shade Capri Coast, and I'm taking the bigger side of that Hourglass brush. This is one of my favorite bronzers. I feel like I go through phases, I'll find a different bronzer and use that one, but I always end up coming back to this one because it is just so good. I feel like it leaves you with such a natural, like warmed up look. For blush, I'm going to go in with this one from Buxom. It's the Wanderlust Primer Infused Blush. It's in the shade Dolly. I think the packaging is really pretty. It doesn't have a mirror or anything, which I guess for the price point is a little bit surprising, but I do think it's really pretty. The shade is gorgeous. So I got a few requests to do a review on this, and I didn't want to do a full video review on just a blush because I feel like that'd be so short and like semi-pointless. So I figured I would include it in here. I've been using this for like 3 weeks, 2 weeks, and I love it. So it's definitely pigmented. You have to be careful. This is my Morphe E4 brush, and you just have to be careful because you will apply quite a lot of product, but it will blend in. Like, I'm not picking up any more to go on the other cheek. I will in a second, but I kind of like to disperse what's on the brush before going back into the product, just because it is so pigmented. So it looks a little bit crazy right now. I look like an absolute clown in the viewfinder, but it will blend out. So I'm gonna go in with my Tarte Stunner highlight, and this is the Luxie 522 tapered highlight brush, my favorite highlight brush ever. And I'm just gonna take this down the bridge of my nose as well. Okay, I've said this before, but if you ever have too much pigmentation somewhere, one trick, there's actually 2 really good tricks to kind of calm it down. One of them is to set your face, which is what I'm gonna do today. This is the Milani Make It Last. And then blend it back out with a sponge. And this kind of, I do this anyway even if I don't have too much pigmentation somewhere, just because it really melts all of your makeup together. But before I blend out that side, I just want to show you the comparison. It just looks so much more melted together and cohesive on this side, and this side looks a little bit patchier and just not quite as blended. And then the other trick before I forget is you can take a powder brush, put some translucent powder on it, and just blend it back out with translucent powder, and that will kind of act as like a makeup eraser. Okay, moving on to my eye makeup, I'm going to do a very simple look. I'm gonna go into my Tarte palette. This is the Sizzle eyeshadow palette. I got this in my BoxyCharm last month, so in January, and I'm going to use the shade Starfish as my lid shade. This one. So I think that is the prettiest color. I'm gonna do a pretty monochromatic look. So I did this mauve color on my lid, or on my cheeks, and then I'm gonna do that as my lid shade. So first I'm going to go into my Tarte Maneater palette, and I'm going to take the shade Purr. This is one of my favorite transition shades. I'm taking a big fluffy brush, and I do this almost every day. Even if I'm not really wearing any makeup, I'll just throw this into my crease. So that is exactly what I'm going to do today. And I'm not being super precise with this. I'm just kind of messily throwing it into my crease. And then I'm going to take my Real Techniques shadow brush, and I'm going to go in with that Starfish shade. I'm going to wet down my brush with some of my setting spray, just because I really want this to pack on color. And I'm just putting this all over my lid. Okay, that is so pretty. Okay, I want just a little bit of something else in my crease, so I'm gonna go in with my Naked Cherry palette and pick up some of the shade Bing. You could really pick up any kind of like medium shade mauve pink color. And I'm just going to lightly place this into my crease. All right, for liner, I'm gonna go in with my roller liner from Benefit, and I'm just going to trace my upper lash line. Okay, I'm gonna curl my lashes, and then I'm going to use 2 mascaras. I feel like I'm being super extra today, but my Hourglass Caution Extreme Lash Mascara, it's starting to dry out, so I'm gonna use this as my first coat, and then my Too Faced Better Than Sex Mascara. I just got a new one of these in my BoxyCharm, and I generally don't like this one by itself. I would rather pair it with something else, so I'm going to pair it with my favorite mascara of all time. All right, I'm gonna let my first layer of mascara dry, And while I do, I'm going to just throw some Benefit Gimme Brow into my brows. And then I'm also going to do my lips. I have my Buxom Plumpline lip liner in the shade Dolly Danger. This is very similar to the blush shade in Dolly. So I'm going to line and fill in my lips with this. These lip liners are seriously so good. The one in Stealth is my go-to nude lip liner. Anyway, I am going to top it with my Marc Jacobs. This is the lip gloss stick in the shade One Mauve Time. And I love the formula of this. So I'm just going to top it with this. The formula of these is outstanding. It is pigmented, but not super pigmented, but it's so glossy and creamy and comfortable. So I highly recommend this formula if you have not tried it before. Now I'm going to go in and do my lower lash line before I do my last coat of mascara. I'm going to take my pencil brush and just take this Bing shade. And I'm going to take that about 3/4 of the way into my eye. And just kind of blend it. I'm not being super precise. I'm kind of blending it down a little bit just because I want that pigmentation. And then next I'm going to go into my Maneater palette and take the black shade. You can take any black shade that you have on hand. And I'm going to put that about halfway in. I like to put my dark shades, I feel like I say this every single time I do my makeup, but I put the dark shades only about halfway in so that it kind of frames my eye and keeps it open. If I put the black all the way in, it will really close up my eye and make my eyes look smaller, which is not what I personally want. Okay, I'm going to do my second coat of mascara with the Better Than Sex from Too Faced. This is a really good volumizing mascara, but I just said this in my BoxyCharm video too. It's very similar to the L'Oreal Lash Paradise, and that one obviously is a drugstore version. So if you can get your hands on that one, I would say do that. I do like this one, but I don't think, since the L'Oreal one has come out, I have not ever paid full price for this one. I've gotten it during like the 21 Days of Beauty at Ulta. That sale, they have them for $10 sometimes, so I'll buy it then. And then of course I just got into my BoxyCharm, so I'll use it now, but I just never pay full price anymore. And then last but not least, I'm going to go back with my Hourglass mascara and hit my lower lashes with this. This is the only mascara I've ever tried that stays on my lower lashes without transferring under here, no matter how much powder I used. I've tried so many different ones and they just all transfer. So I always use this one for my lower lash line, or my lower lashes. Alrighty guys, that is everything for this makeup look. I hope that you enjoyed it. Like I said before, I will link everything that I mentioned and that I used today down below, along with my sweater that I'm obsessed with right now, my necklace, the whole deal. I hope that you guys have a great Valentine's Day no matter what you do. And yeah, that is everything. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe before you leave so you don't miss any of my future videos. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.